We're live. I didn't change the background color. I was going to make it look different, but I didn't. How much I care. Hello. I don't know how. Oh, there's a good amount of you here already. Hello, hello. Say hello in the comments. Tell us where you're hailing from this evening, this Sunday evening. Tell us if you're broiling hot or freezing cold in your air conditioning or in Australia and it's morning. Let us know where you are and what you're doing. Where you're from. Yeah. Hello to Sarah. I always love when I get to have Sarah on screen with me. Sorry that my phone is connected to my computer right now, so it's going to keep dinging because my friend keeps texting me at the moment. But yeah, we're excited to chat about Ember in the Ashes.
Yep.
Oh, there it is. There goes the shimmer.
I found it. Yep.
It's in there. This is my favorite of the editions.
Yes, I love these. They're beautiful.
How is your weekend going? Let's just do a quick little catch up. What have you got going on this week? What are you doing? How was your weekend?
Weekend was good. It was pretty relaxing, actually. We didn't do too much. I've been reading, which has been really nice, like during the day. Mm-hmm. And we went shopping, like grocery shopping today, all that fun adult stuff.
Nice.
Yeah, that's kind of it. So I'm not mad about it. It was relaxing.
Yeah, I had a very relaxing day as well today. I did almost all of my unpacking and laundry yesterday because I was in New York last week at my mom's house. Mm-hmm. So I have to head back to work this week, which is always hard after a vacation. Not hard because I watched the most lovely little baby who is just the sweetest. Yeah. But hard just because I have to get up and get going in the morning. And I've been able to kind of take things slow. So I did one more slow day. I did have to run out to the store real quick today because I had like nothing in my fridge. But I had a nice slow day. I didn't go to church. I watched church online. I knew there'd be Australia in the house.
Yep, Lee's here.
Sneaking on while on my tea break. I love it.
Nice.
I love it. So we are so excited to talk about Ember in the Ashes. I loved the series when I started it 7 years ago or whenever it was, and read the first 2, and then it fell off my radar completely, and I never carried on. Did you read just the first one, or did you also read the?
Nope.
Okay, just so you haven't. I'm excited. Moving into July, you haven't now a new territory for you.
Brand new.
That is very cool. So Emily had another book club tonight, so she is just popping in to say hi. Why does everything have to be the last Sunday of the month? We'll watch later. She's got virtual book club. Hello, Jill from Wisconsin, where it's hot, but I'm inside with a hoodie. Hello, Lisa. Hi, Judy and Sarah. Looking forward to the chat. Me too. Hello, Kelly. Finally warm. It was in 50s and 60s and raining most of the week. Oh, good. So you're looking forward to some of the warm. In Owen Sound, Ontario, pretty warm. I'm inside in the AC. PJ. Hi, Kirsten. Watching from Eastern Washington. Well, it's entirely too hot, but the temp says it's only 92. I mean, 92 is pretty warm. That's pretty warm.
Yeah, it was 96 today here.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. I was like, oh my gosh.
Troy is in California where it's warm, but not too bad. Hello, Dharma. We're excited that you're here as well. Hello, Jennifer. It's cool. I love it. Hi, Jen. I love this book so much that I used it as an assignment for class. I ordered all 4. Love. I love that you loved it. Because I remember you were having a little bit, like you didn't get into it right away. But once you were in it, you were in it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Hello, Andy. Lisa's watching from middle of Tennessee, south of Nashville. Hot, rainy, and muggy. Mm-hmm. Judy's in Florida. Melbourne. Rhonda is in Utah, recovering from knee surgery. I hope that you're getting the rest that you need.
Yep.
Reading lots of things as you rest to that leg. Finished it yesterday. Perfect. Hi, Pamela. The first one was a reread for Andy. Looking forward to continuing. Also from Wisconsin. Texas where it's in the 90s. I am an ember in the ashes. I love it.
That's funny.
I think that was me problem. Yeah, it's okay. No. Only I read the first two. I read the first one and then I was able to go right into the second one that same calendar year. But then I had to wait like maybe a year or two. I don't know. I feel like there was a little bit of a break. I don't know the date. When did this come out? This one came out in 2015. So this one's 10 years old. And then I read Torch Against the Night pretty soon after finishing this one. But then the third one wasn't even out yet. So that's why I kind of lost interest.
The fourth book came out in 2020.
Okay. So they were spread out. It wasn't like 1 year after the other.
Yeah, it was like 15, 16, 18, 20. So the last two were 2 years in between.
2 years in between. So that's why I lost interest. But this was like a booktube darling back in the day.
Yep.
PJ finished 15 minutes ago. Love that last minuteness of it. Woo woo. Just signed out the second one from my library. Bought the first one though. Nice. Love it. Very cool. So, yeah, whether you're watching with us right now live, there's about 57 people here live chatting with us, or if you're going to read it or watch it later, we would love to hear your comments. We want to know, like, this is not just a Krista and Sarah conversation. We definitely want everybody involved. I have a couple of questions we're going to ask, but also just sharing our thoughts about the book, especially with this one from people who were reading it for the first time. I would love to get your impressions of it because for both Sarah and I, it was a reread. But yeah, be involved. Well, this is an interactive event tonight. No reading sprints. We're just going to be chatting, and the goal is about an hour. So we're going to go ahead and dive right in. And Sarah, what was your overall, what did you think? Was it as good as the first time? Did you like it, not like it? What were some of your favorite parts about it or not favorite? Just kind of general thoughts, and then we'll dive into some nitty gritty.
I loved it just as much the first time. I remember the first time I read it, I flew through it. I couldn't put it down. I think I read it in 3 or 4 days. This time took me longer because my brain is just not. My brain's in a different 4 million different directions right now. But same thing. Once I really got into it, I kind of flew through it after that. I think I ended up surpassing you because you were beating me for a while, and then I ended up finishing before you did. But yeah, no, I loved it just as much. And it almost though felt like reading it again for the first time, because I think I remember the big plot points, but I forgot so many details. I forgot how brutal this world is. And there was something that I swear happened in this book, and then it didn't. So I don't know what I was thinking about that. I was like, I swear that happened. So I don't know what book I was thinking about. It didn't happen. So that was interesting. But yeah, I love these characters, and I love her writing. She paints it very, very vividly.
Yeah.
And the politics of it's very interesting too. So
for sure. I definitely also enjoyed it just as much this time as I did the first time. Someone said the pacing. It's just it was such a quick read. Once you get into it, it just draws you right in, which not every book does that. So that's a credit to Sabaa Tahir that she is able to create this world and this story that we want to keep turning pages quickly and keep, being surprised throughout it, and it kept my interest all the way through. I definitely really, really enjoyed it this second time just as much as the first time. So that's pretty cool. I also really like the depth of the characters of especially Leia and Elias. Leia and Elias, whatever. Leia. I do really like how they're not just one thing. They're not flat characters at all. You see their struggles, you see the choices that they're making, what they're thinking about. I really like those characters too. But I want to kind of come back to what Kelly said real quick, and we'll start kind of talking about world building and
Mhm.
the setting. So it is a fantasy world. It's a fantasy story, but there are a lot of aspects of ancient Rome. So this is interesting that they use this book as a literature pick during the ancient Rome study, because there are, if you think about the gladiators and that type of thing about ancient Rome, like that brutality is definitely in this story.
Yeah.
So what did you guys think in general? Do you think it was blended well, that ancient Rome feel with the fantasy feel? Do you feel like this is book 1 of a 4-book series? So obviously we're going to be learning more about the world as we go on.
Mhm.
But how do you think Sabaa Tahir did with setting up the world of this one? Like, did it feel fleshed out enough that you could kind of get a grasp of things? And I'll go first. One thing that you mentioned that I also agree with is that she does so good with all your senses. So there are scenes where you can almost smell things, or like when they're in the dungeon, or not the dungeons, the catacomb. What do they call it? The tunnels.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
But when they're down there, you can almost feel the damp
Yes.
air and the
Mhm.
smell of it down there. Like she does so good at evoking all of your senses
Mhm.
as she describes things. So I think that's a good part of the setting and making you feel like you're kind of immersed in this story. And that's one of my favorite parts. I noticed it right away in this one as she was describing something. I'm like, oh, there's what you see. There's what you're hearing. There's what you're smelling. Like she
Yeah.
was hitting all of the senses, and I really enjoy that.
Yeah.
Um, talk about the world building and the setting.
No, I definitely could feel, especially like I think gladiators are really good comparison. I could definitely, especially when they're in the I keep calling to call it a school. It's not a school. What is it? Um,
Training academy. It is kind of
yeah,
a school.
yeah,
Yeah.
academy. Yeah. They always have to wear their armor everywhere they go. And the big guys are flaunting it around, and they're um, and just the way that the commandant, she's always in uniform and put together, and um, so it's a lot about the way you present yourself as well. And but then you also change settings because you're in the desert for a little bit, so that's
Mhm.
a little bit different. That almost felt a little Egypty, in that sense, when they were like in the desert and stuff. So um, yeah, but she definitely paints a very vivid picture. I could easily like see in my head what was going on.
Yeah. And I think we will, because we've only just touched on, like, we know the deserts are there, and Elias grew up in the wastelands almost, but you could see for one of the trials he was in a desert, but in another trial he was kind of in the desert, but he could see the mountain and he had to get to the mountain. And so like you're starting to see a little bit beyond the main city where the school is, where
The
the
market.
the festival market thing
Mhm.
was, and the
Yeah.
scholar section of the town, and the blacksmith. Like you can kind of start to see the different parts of the world.
Mhm.
um, let's see, this is the first YA fantasy I have in DNF this year. I was hooked.
Mhm.
The characters, the writing, the setting, the world, and the stakes. Love it. And yeah, it was definitely very brutal.
Mhm.
Um, and she did a great job of making you hate certain characters.
Yes, it's very easy to hate these characters.
100%. And you can easily see things being set up for the bigger picture story. So, for example, the commandant speaking with that spirity kind of
The
shadowy
something.
character in her rooms, and Laya kind of getting a glimpse of that. We
Mhm.
didn't dive fully into like it just barely touched on
There's a whole lot there, yeah.
who that was and how, but that's going to be a much bigger part as we move forward.
Mhm.
um yeah, but characters we'll get into in a second too. I just wanted to also say um audiobook is fantastic. Jen, I also listened to it. The narrators for Elias and Laya do a fantastic job, and the commandant, and like the narrator just does such a good job. I think it's just one narrator. I could be wrong about that. But in book 2, there's a character called the Warden, and that voice, oh, the narrator does such a good job. But that's like preview. Yeah, also Dharma loved the narrators as well. The narrator. I need to look it up if it's 1 or 2. Loved the tension. I think I said that one already. Audio was great. Very brutal time in the trials. Yeah.
Man, I forgot there were trials. And I was reading it and I was like, oh, there's trials. No wonder I love this book. Of course.
We'll definitely get more. Yeah, let's talk about the masks. Like that whole aspect of the masks and almost a caste system. Like once they become a mask, they're just like these warrior officers.
And then like if you're not if the mask isn't fully bonded down to you, they look at you differently. Like Elias, his mask never fully bonded to him. And so they thought he was lesser than because of it.
Yeah.
Like he wasn't a true, warrior. He wasn't,
I just think of all that they had to go through in order to get to that point. So brutal.
Mm-hmm. You have
like
to survive it.
Hunger Games on crack.
Yeah, seriously, it really is.
Even in the trials, just the idea of you now have to kill the people that you've been friends with for years, that you've gone through all of this other stuff with. Surprise! Now you have to kill them.
Yeah, or your brother,
or your own people, or your other friend is going to die.
Yeah,
you got to kill that friend, or this friend is going to die.
Right? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
There's no easy way out of that, right? What do you do? Because Elias hesitated at first, and then saw how do you choose one life over another? At that point, you just have to allow your instincts to kind of kick in.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
and you don't always like your instincts either.
No. The Commandant was the most villainous villain. Yeah. Ooh, did I have some thoughts for her?
She was. I forgot how bad she was. Oh man.
So cold and heartless. Zero emotion, zero empathy.
And enjoyed hurting people.
Yeah. She did get a sick enjoyment out of exerting her power by hurting other people, especially the slave girls that worked with her. And yeah, she was a beast.
Yep.
And I always love a villain that you can hate. I love, and I don't always like when the author tries to, I was nervous reading the Lunar Chronicles with Queen Levana's story, because I'm I don't want to like her. Right, she's the worst. Yeah. She's not a worst like the Commandant is the worst. The Commandant is a next level worst.
Yeah.
But I was almost glad that she wasn't a very nuanced character. We're going to learn more things about her. She's going to have deeper levels, but it's not going to be levels that make you have empathy for her, because she's just a villain. We're going to continue to hate her. I think. I mean, I don't know books 3 or 4. I haven't read them yet, but
yeah, I don't need that redemption arc. Nope.
I don't. Yeah, I do love a good redemption arc, but I don't necessarily want one for her. I want a karma arc for her.
Yes, exactly.
That's what you get. I want that kind of justice for the little people.
Seriously.
Quick read, brutal in parts. Looking forward to book 2. Nice. Made me claustrophobic. Me too. I was having a hard time picturing. When are they going to adapt this? Because this is so cinematic, right? It would make a great show.
It would. And then Helene, hers is on her, right? You could even see
it almost becomes
her skin underneath it. You could see when she smiles and it wrinkles with her.
It's hard to, because I don't think it's armor. It's more.
It becomes a second skin almost.
A second skin. It's hard to imagine. Yeah. It does. I got that, Kirsten, too. Made me feel claustrophobic. I like that she jumped right into the action and saved some of the setup for later.
Yeah.
I was hooked immediately and wanted to follow Laya. There's a good question. Do you feel like you connected more with Laya's story or Elias? They eventually, they're coming together, and it will more so even as the books go on. I know it does, at least in book 2, sort of, but did you have one storyline that you were more connected to than the other? Hunger Games, who?
I don't think it was one or the other, just they were both different. Whereas Laia was really looking for justice and Elias was looking for escape, like just with everything that he's been through and seen. And he was trying to hide the fact that he was saying this is not okay because he didn't want to, lose his own life before he was able to escape. So they're both in desperate situations, but for very different reasons. So I don't know that I connected to either one of them more than the other. I was kind of equally invested in both.
Yeah. I feel the same. I don't think I had one storyline that I liked more than others, but I liked seeing Laia grow even in this first book from feeling in her own mind, feeling so timid and that she can't live up to her parents' example or legacy or her brothers even, and feeling so scared all the time and still being scared, but taking more risks and not being quite as naive and thinking about things in different ways. Like she definitely had a bit of a growth arc in this one. I don't think she's fully like go rebel by the end, but she is. I mean, she and the cook, they set up that whole plan at the end.
Yep.
That was major. And she did that. And at the beginning, she couldn't even run away from their house because she was just so
she was
like
so
frozen in fear. So I liked her arc.
Yeah.
And I think we'll get more of an arc from Elias. Elias's didn't feel like he grew as much. He just is kind of stuck in his tough situation.
Yeah, and he was ready to just let it all end.
Yeah, he was ready to just go. Yeah.
Dying. And Laia really, she hit a desperation point because now she doesn't know who to trust because the resistance betrayed her. And like, what else is she going to do? She literally has nothing to lose at that point.
Yeah, I love this too. The mask is such an amazing representation of Elias's fight to maintain his humanity in the midst of all of that is going on around him. Yeah,
that's true.
Which is interesting that we didn't see that. I mean, we don't really get to know what everyone else is thinking because we don't see that struggle too much with any of the other people at Blackthorn, whatever, except for the brother, the older brother of the little brother who was killed. He struggled with grieving, but he's the only one that showed any kind of emotion.
Yeah.
None of the other people. So it's interesting to just, I mean, I know we're only getting Elias's perspective really, but I liked that. The Commandant's worse than Professor Umbridge.
Oh, yes. That's bad.
Poison your own son. I know. I wonder. I know we'll see more of her. I just don't know.
I don't want it.
I know.
I don't care.
Not my normal genre. Same, Nikki. I'm a historical fiction girly too, but you liked it, enjoyed it, good. Can't wait to start book to see. It's good to step out of our comfort zones every now and then, for sure. Yeah. Where is the movie, right? Where's the Umbridge? I don't know. Like, it would have to be rated R. Like, it would have to be.
It's pretty bad. Yeah.
It's pretty brutal. That's what I like about
it. To like show everything that happened.
Yeah, she wrote everyone with such layers. Though the villains were still villains, she gave them not humanity but depth. Yeah, for sure. I honestly couldn't pick between them. I like both POVs, was interested in both equally. I really liked how the author kept weaving them together, showing us what one was up to while we were with the other. Yeah. I like that he didn't take advantage of Laia, even though she was given to him as a prize.
Yes. Oh, that scene. That's the one that made me swoon. Remember I said I'm swooning right now? It was that whole scene. And at the end where she told him that, what was it? If he could be who he was with her right then, he would be a great emperor. Like that. And I was like, oh my God. I loved it.
Do you think, like, since we're kind of on that topic anyways, do you think the romance aspects, it's definitely not strong or heavy on the romance, but there's little threads of it that are starting to weave in there, because I feel like that aspect is gonna. I think book 2 is gonna have a little bit more of the love triangle that we're getting glimpses of in book 1, if I remember correctly. So no details there, but just, I mean, because Helene loved Elias.
Well, there's almost 2 love triangles.
And yeah, for sure. And Elias is very interested in Laia, but doesn't fully understand why yet.
Yeah.
But he's drawn to her.
Yes.
And Laia, I don't think, has romantic feelings towards Elias yet.
Yeah.
Starting to, like,
mm-hmm.
And then because she has romantic feelings for the rebel dude. What's his name?
Yeah.
Keenan?
Keenan, yeah. I was trying to figure out what his name was. Keenan. I just saw it.
So we don't know if Keenan is just.
I don't know about Keenan now, though. Didn't she knock him out or something?
I know.
Like, because no, he took off and said, "I'll meet you here," and then
she didn't.
She got the girl instead.
Because I love that.
Yeah.
Because she knew she couldn't do that for her brother.
Right.
But that shows Laia's growth, because she couldn't rescue her brother.
Mm-hmm.
And so now she's not going to leave her friend Izzy.
Yeah, Izzy.
Or Elias in the lurch, because now she has a little bit more inner strength and knowledge of the world to know that she can't just get on a boat and run.
Right.
It's not going to change anything. Yeah. This book is so good. I felt for both, especially since my mom is so brutal. The mom, not your mom. Sorry, Troy. I'm sure your mom is not brutal. The mom is so brutal. Felt bad for Elias. Yeah, for sure. I connected with both of them, really liking Elias growing into what she'll be, and Elias' freedom to be himself. Yeah.
Yep.
And I think that's what in part draws him to her once they get to know each other a little bit, because he can be himself a little more. That plan was amazing, right? With all the explosions all over to distract. Laia isn't selfish the way her mom. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think she's learning, because I don't think she realized fully.
She learned more about her parents. Yeah.
Except that she learned them from Marcus, and Marcus is a villain in his own.
That's true. Right. I don't trust Marcus at all. Obviously now, but
I want more. Sana was her name. Sana, the other rebel girl who had a little faction of her own that was going against Marcus, but Marcus is a liar and.
But didn't the cook say her mom was not a great person too?
Yeah, no, she learned it. No, I mean, I believe that her mom was selfish and power hungry, but I also just don't trust Marcus.
No, absolutely not.
Imagine being in line for the emperor of such a violent regime and actually having morals and a conscience that you had to hide from, literally, right? Serious conflict there. And we felt it. As you're reading it. Yeah, we need a movie. It is listed at YA.
Yes.
I mean,
10 to 12. I mean, grades 10 to 12 is young adult. Still.
Yeah.
I mean, young adult goes from like 12 to 18. So it's.
And a spy starting from a shelter. Yeah, I loved seeing her growth. I'm so glad you loved it, Maria. Couldn't put it down. I'm so glad the romances were weaved in, but they didn't overtake the setting up of the world or take away from their stories, their individual stories.
It was not the major plot.
I love it. I like that it's a subplot. I don't know, because I don't remember. I know that the love triangle, in particular, Helene, Elias, Laia love triangle is a part of book 2. It's not all of book 2. It's not only that. It's definitely still lots of other things. The Warden. But it's still there. And I don't know anything about 3 and 4. So we'll see. We'll learn together.
Oop, there goes mine.
I'm so grateful for the gentler hand the author took with the romantic elements. Yeah. For sure. Me too, Kim. I don't like when it gets too steamy in a YA book. Like, we just don't do that. It felt like they were still teenagers. And I know they're upper teenagers in this one.
Yeah, Elias is 20 and she's 17, I think.
Yeah. So it makes sense to have attractions and be drawn to people and feel the chemistry. Like that makes sense.
Mhm.
They're not 13 or 12. You know what I mean? Like they're old enough that a handsome guy that saves your life or whatever is going to be attractive to you.
Exactly.
It made sense, but it wasn't the main point.
Yeah.
At all, which I loved. Yeah. Yep, that's what. But Setsu, no one would get hurt, shows her humanity 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think he's just a wealthy man in the city. Like, I don't think he was a teacher or anything but he might have been in his prime when he was younger. Maybe. I don't think he was a mask.
I don't think he had a mask either. Yeah. I think he's just a very influential person.
I didn't roll my eyes at the romance or thirst talk once, so it was a win for me. Truth. First time joining a live. Hey, hi. I had to, in order to get a lot of perspectives on my issue with this. All this brutality. I know.
I mean, Hunger Games was also brutal.
Kids killing kids.
Kids killing kids. But it's definitely marketed towards older YA. Yeah. And that's just mainly because that's the age of the characters.
Yeah. And I think it speaks again towards that ancient Rome mindset of just like you can just kill the people that you don't
like
and even the gladiators who weren't, I mean, because I know they used the Colosseum and all of that to kill Christians and other groups that they didn't agree with at the time, but they also had it like games. It was entertainment, people fighting to the death, and that was gory, and that was that was historical. Like that's not even a fantasy. So this one's fantasy, and I like that they are a little older at that point. But I mean, that scene at the beginning with the young kid, like that was hard. It was a hard way to start things off, for sure.
But it also shows you how brutal this world is, and just how impossible things seem to make changes or to get away from it or whatever.
Yeah.
So makes you feel it.
The grandfather was a general. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Kirsten. Tammy loved this book as well. So good. He was a soldier who won a lot of battles.
Okay.
Okay. Good. I was going to ask you, what does the title have to do with the story? I know it kind of was brought up at one point, but what do you guys think about the title? Do you think it's a good title? Did you get how it relates? Share.
I noticed that at one point, who is the guy? He's one of those beings.
Like immortal. That are Cain, the one who talks to Elias.
He called both of them an Ember in the Ashes, both Leia and Elias, because he said it to, I think, Elias later in the book, and I was like, didn't he say that to Leia? Or it was opposite or something. I think he said it to Elias first and then Leia, and I was like, didn't he say that? And I looked back at my little things, and I was like, yeah, he did. So at one point, he called them both an Ember in the Ashes, and it just kind of I went, oh, so that's another point of how they're connected and why maybe they're drawn to each other like that.
Yeah.
And just kind of like these are the two that can really make a difference here and can be the hope.
So let's talk about those guys, because I forget what they're called.
I forget too.
But they're like immortal and they know things and they have prophecies and all this. Mm-hmm. So the mystic Augur, there it is. Kirsten coming in as clutch.
Thank you. I'm glad you guys are remembering all these things.
She's helping us remember all the things. So the Augurs are this almost mythical being that almost have a religious bent to them, in that they're giving prophecies and they're highly respected and they're kind of running things.
Like what they say goes.
They can almost read minds, or can read minds.
Yeah.
So I'm just wondering, and I honestly don't remember book 2, so I'm not spoiling things when I ask these questions. I'm just thinking. So do you think the augurs want a different world and they're helping to set things up so that things can change? Or do you think they're content with how things are? I don't know. Like, what do you think the purpose of the augurs is?
I think Cain for sure wants something different because he was helping Elias.
Yeah.
In the
But
trial.
not fully. Like,
not fully, no. But with the whole Elias having to kill Helene thing. And then it turned out he was going to, but then he didn't. And it was almost like a loophole. He was like, we weren't going to let her die. I'm like, but you said that was what the trial was.
Yeah.
I wanted to see if you were going to do it. So,
but they let the idiot become the emperor, win the trials.
Because he did what they told him.
But I think there's a bigger picture that we just don't know yet.
I think so too. And I'm going to be really interested to see what Marcus does as emperor.
And no, not Marcus. Marcus is the rebel guy. What's that other guy's name?
No, Keenan's the rebel guy.
No, Keenan is the rebel kid. Marcus is the leader of the rebels.
No, I think Marcus is the guy.
No.
They both start with M.
Yeah. Right here. No. I'm just looking for an M.
Kirsten, what's his name?
It's probably, I'm way behind.
Let's see.
He's a jerk.
Let me see.
My word, why can we not remember it?
No, and I have all these tabs. You think I would tab something that one of them said at some point? I did. I tabbed when he became emperor. Okay, let's see.
Marcus, Mazin. Okay, you're right. Mazin is the leader rebel. Mazin and Marcus is the jerk.
Okay. Marcus.
Thank you,
Marcus
guys.
is the new emperor.
And Mazin is the level. I was thinking Marcus was the rebel leader, but no, Mazin is, and Marcus is the kid.
Okay, got it.
Thank you, guys. You clarified for me.
Yeah, so I'll be interested to see what he does as emperor / who's going to actually be controlling him as emperor. Because I think the commandant might have some.
Oh yeah, it kind of hinted towards that when the commandant's conversation with the shadowy dude. That
they were going to try to make it. I think so.
That's why she was trying to throw the first trial. At least she gave them, because they've learned how to block their minds so the augurs can't read their minds,
and so they won't know what's going on.
And they want Marcus to be the emperor so that the shadow dude can actually.
It's going to control it.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Jamie said, I didn't realize you guys are reading now. Y'all making me want to read. Yeah, do it. It's so good. Yeah, part of the prophecy. We'll get to one of my best friends read the series. She said the series continues as a fantasy novel with strong elements of romance, but it's not a romantasy. Perfect.
Okay.
Yeah. In reference to both of our main, the augurs, mystic,
yep.
A couple of title spottings, and it made sense. Yep. What does it mean? Are they connected? I guess.
Yeah. No.
I took it to mean that they have the ability to spark a fire like an ember, which I assume means that they will cause change, rebellion that is needed to change the world. That's what I'm thinking.
Like a flame in the ashes, I was like, everything else is burned down, but you're still.
Yeah. So like when I used to go camping with my family when I was little, and my brother and I would wake up before mom and dad woke up, we would go to the fire immediately and see if there was any embers and try to get the fire going before mom and dad woke up. That was like our thing to do. And we did it many times.
Nice.
If you get a little ember, it's all you need. You blow on that. So maybe the augurs are the ones going to be blowing on the embers. I don't know.
Look at that.
The visual of the two of them being a spark for change when everything has been burned to the ground. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
It's so good. Like it's a catchy title. And make you think. I think the augurs are trying to set the right wrongs done by the first emperor, who got killed on the road by Mazin and his crew.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know yet. I had the jury is still out on that. Are they good or are
Story
they
I would like. I'll take
Yeah.
that story.
I mean,
That's
we really only know Cain so far. We've only had a lot of interaction with Cain
Yeah.
as a group because Helene got um a kind of message from them too, just like Elias did about you've got to do this and you'll be free if you do this, whatever. Very paraphrased version of what his prophecy was or comment was, but she got one as well.
She did.
That she's gonna protect him or I don't know, something. And she thought it meant that he would be the emperor and she would be his blood shrike.
Yeah.
Ember's a spark waiting to be ignited. These two are both embers waiting or growing into the flame to help them rid the world of evil. Love.
Yep.
The augurs are starting a revolution. Took the knife for Laia. That's right.
Oh yeah, that's true. That like they like faked her death. True.
Yep.
Oh man. See, I forgot about that.
Cain was definitely trying to make something happen, like giving Helene the armor to save her. Yeah. Mazin, yeah, thank you. That's where we got that part. Marcus is definitely the new emperor. He's so gross. Like just a typical, like I don't want to say typical, but he is an example of what power, a greedy person with power
can do.
It can be so corrupted. And he just was so entitled, especially with women, and that brutality that they're seeing every day and that is encouraged in them.
Encouraged, yes.
You see him walking that out and he's just gross.
Like they were trying to report rape and they were like, it happens all the time. Like
ridiculous.
Letting it happen. Like, what are you doing?
And the fact that he did actually kill his brother. Like we didn't see that scene, but we knew it. We know that it happened.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it affects him, but at the same time, because it said a couple times.
He said that to Elias. He was kind of in shock almost right afterwards.
Right.
And then he kind of like shook it off and then moved on.
And then, and even later though, he was having a conversation or something and kind of looked over his shoulder, like waiting for that comment that the brother would make, but he wasn't there. So,
yeah.
But I don't have empathy for Marcus.
No.
I think augurs are limited within rules, so they had to let Marcus become emperor. Or is that part of the plan? I don't know. Just knowing what it means for Helene, because Helene to me is almost in the same category as the augurs in that you don't know yet if they're going to be good or bad.
Yeah.
And I feel like Helene, you want to like her and you understand her, but she's so hard fast about the rules.
Yes.
That you just want to punch her and say, sometimes you got to like work the system a little bit, Helene.
And realize
she's so solid about the rules. Yeah. Even except at the end when she allows Elias to escape with Laia.
Yeah.
And she said, basically, she's like, this is the last time because next time I see you, I'm going to try to kill you. But she does bring him his swords and like she brings him stuff and then allows him to escape, which was out of character for her, but shows that she really does love him. Like she does. She's willing to bend it a little bit.
Yeah.
I think the augurs see multiple futures. And Cain sees everything, including the plotting of Karis, the commandant. I think Cain is ultimately fighting the Nightbringer. That's who that shadowy thing is, the Nightbringer.
Don't remember all these little things.
Totally going to use, totally he's going to use Marcus as a puppet.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's going to be, as the story goes on, like we're not just fighting about the rules of Blackthorn or Blackcliff or whatever it's called. Yeah. And the society there. We're also fighting these creatures that they've had in the trials that were supposedly just legends, but they're real.
Yeah.
And also, or whether they're connected to the Nightbringer, we don't fully know yet. But the Nightbringer and what he represents is like this greater evil that the augurs are aware of, and obviously the commandant, but like there's a bigger picture story that we don't know yet. We've kind of gotten glimpses, I think, which is so brilliant. Like, how much of this world and everything does she know before she starts writing? Or does it all kind of develop? I don't know. I would love to have a conversation. We should probably reach out to Sabaa Tahir. She probably doesn't get a lot. Well, she just came out with Air, so she's probably talking about that one a lot. But like, it would be cool to see if she could join us one of these months. Oh, wouldn't that be amazing? I'm gonna see. We'll try to figure out who to even reach out to. I don't know. I'm wondering if the augurs are split. Ooh, I don't know.
Yeah, that's true. Because some of the augurs were like, Cain seems like
a good guy.
Scared.
Sort of.
And, but then there were other ones that did not at all. Didn't one of them like drag Leia or something around?
I don't know.
One of them did something that I was like, dude, I thought you were like supposed to be kind of a leader almost, but
10 years ago, Jamie. I love it. Yeah, I don't know. I remember nothing, right?
Again.
That's how I feel about the second book. Actually, I felt that way about this one too. It was almost like rereading it again for the first time because I did not remember very much. Like as I'm reading, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that now. Now that I've back in my brain. I
was like, this happens, this happens, this happens. I'm like,
I don't know. Because Keenan was like, peace out. I'm gonna just run away and hide somewhere else in the mountains or something.
Yeah, I don't know.
He's gonna go to another land. I don't know. All the competitors got a message.
A rebel traitor that we don't know.
Oh yeah, I wonder if the brother got a message, like you're gonna sacrifice your life for your brother or something along those lines.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Because Marcus got that message that he would have Helene.
Oh, that would mean all 4 of them got messages. I bet he did.
I feel like he made her a second because he's then in control of her. Icky Marcus.
Gross.
Possible. Yeah, she
sees. She called him like my lord or something when they were talking.
There's definitely a reverence there, but I don't know. Yeah, Helene does not see gray. It's black and white world for her. It seemed to his brother was maybe the only thing that kept Marcus. Yeah, 100%. Not much, but he's going to be worse. Oh, it's her way of surviving. Helene, yeah. Oh, yeah, she did come to sing to heal Elia, but she only did that for Elias. She didn't do that for Elia. No. She did that for Elias. Not because she felt like this scholar girl deserved healing. She did that because Elias asked her to, and she loved Elias.
Yeah.
And that's my opinion. I mean.
No, I agree.
He must control her at some level. The Nightbringer, yeah. The tattoos. I don't know about the tattoos. She is obsessed with her tattoos. I forgot about the tattoos. I think in the end, I like Helene a lot. She's a rule follower, but she's fiercely loyal to those she loves, and she loves Elias. I saw good in her, and she's following an oath she gave to Cain. Yeah, it will be interesting as it continues.
I think she's a rule follower to a fault, though. Like, she can't see past. How do I word this? I feel like she's following these rules because this is what she's been taught, but she can't see past it either. She can't see that this is actually not okay, that it's not okay to treat people this way, and it's not okay to, to punish people to the death. And Elias is starting to see that. And when she noticed he was starting to see it, she was disappointed in him.
Yeah. Like,
I think it's to a fault with her almost.
Yeah.
So I hope that he can kind of turn her around a little bit. But I don't know.
There's like bangs going on outside my house. I hope it's fireworks.
We had fireworks here last night.
There was like 4 just now.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was just distracted trying to listen. Mazin was that would be interesting.
Yeah. I mean, he's already proven he's not trustworthy.
Yeah, he's not trustworthy. He's so focused on defeating. He's like focused on this much without seeing the bigger picture. And power, like he's also a little bit greedy for power, but with the good guys, but still like.
Yeah, but they're kind of showing like, are they the guys? We don't know.
Well, they fell right into, I mean, they fell right into the commandant's plan of killing the emperor.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
I don't think they see the big picture, and
no.
Yeah, they're going off their emotions and.
Yep.
Yeah, that's rough.
I mean, I feel like we covered all these questions I was going to ask. Cool. Well, I'm glad that so many of you joined us tonight. 55 of you here. There was 60 at one point. That's amazing. And I'm sure some of you are watching later. Thank you. I'm loving returning to this world. And I'm so glad that for many of you, this was outside of your normal comfort zone reads.
Yeah.
And you took the plunge. You decided to go for it and give it a chance. And it seems like for the most part, is there anybody here who didn't like it?
Yeah, I know a lot of praise, but did anyone?
I know F. Cohen, I don't know your first name, but you were just concerned about the level of violence, which is true. Like that, there's no denying that this is just a brutal world.
It was very violent.
Well, I understand. Like my mom reads a lot of variety of stuff, but she would never read this. She never read Hunger Games because she just can't get past kids killing kids. Like that kind of brutality just doesn't sit well with her. So I understand, like if it doesn't sit well, that's totally fine. Like this probably isn't the series because I don't think it's going to get.
It's going to get better.
It's not going to get more rainbows and flowers fields. No, it's going to continue to be pretty brutal. No. But hopefully we get a little bit more of the world. Yeah. What are you hoping for in book 2? Because you've never read book 2. So I don't want to say anything about book 2 because I do remember just a tiny, tiny bit. But what are you hoping to see in the next book or in the series as a whole?
I'm hoping she gets to her brother. Because they're going to the prison now, right? Where he is rumored to be, because now we don't know. He's been in 3 different prisons apparently in the whole first book. So no one really knows, but I'm excited that Laia and Elias are actually going to be traveling together and, being able to focus on something without having Blackcliff in the way. Basically, they can kind of like focus on things. I'm interested to see how they're going to be chased down because I'm sure they're going to be chased by the Commandant somehow. So I like that we're going to like a different location in book 2 is what it seems like, at least for part of it.
Yeah.
And I'm really
interested. A warden, so that's a prison warden. So he's.
Oh, that's true. Well, yeah, you've been saying the warden, so that usually means a prison. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm excited. I'm excited to see what's going to be waiting for them and what's going to happen, and what Emperor Marcus is going to do.
Oh, so. I also forgot to say, I'm bringing it back to something that we just didn't talk about, the blacksmith dude. Yes. I loved that the Commandant thought that he was just another typical dude that would take advantage of this young girl.
Yeah.
He wasn't at all. And he wasn't part of the rebels. And he helped Laia to see that maybe not everybody that you think you can trust, you can trust.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And that her brother wasn't necessarily working with the rebels.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that's very interesting. Yep.
Yeah, I thought that was I had totally forgotten that. So, because I mean, the whole time she just thinks that her brother's living up to her parents' legend, and she's the only one that's not. But that's not really the case.
Yeah.
So I hope it will be cool to see more people like that are kind of not necessarily on one side or the other, but are doing the right thing without necessarily picking a side.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like they're their own side. So
they can put things into perspective for them too.
Mm-hmm. And I got so annoyed with her at one point when she's like, I just need to talk to Mazin and find out XYZ. I'm like, Mazin is not going to tell you XYZ, honey. Like you've already discovered that he's lying to you.
Yeah. He does not know everything.
Why are we going to him for any kind of answers? Because he's not going to tell you the truth.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I am so glad you recommended. Looking forward to reading the story arcs of the main characters. Yeah. The story is compelling. Okay, so she's the one that didn't love it. That's okay. I really don't like filling my imagination. Yeah. I hear you.
It's hard. Yep.
Appreciated that it was dark, but it wasn't too gruesome and explicit. Other than that first scene. I feel like that first scene was the most.
Yeah, that was the worst one, I think. With the kid.
It was heavy and it was brutal, but it wasn't, you're right. Other than that first scene, it wasn't super descriptive of things. Like even when they were
happening, yeah.
Even when they were fighting each other, it wasn't like, and then her brains like it wasn't overly descriptive of the brutality, but it was still incredibly brutal, but more like emotionally brutal at times.
Like hard to wrap your brain around.
I mean, physically brutal, obviously, but the way that it was written felt more, like a punch in the gut. Holding my breath the last 50 pages. Can't wait for book 2. Didn't love it as much as you guys. I do enjoy fantasy, so that's not it. Probably 3.5. That's okay. 3.5 is not bad. It's just not your favorite, and that's okay. Holy cow, that was a fast hour, right?
I know.
Love the Georgia Bulldogs t-shirt, Sarah.
I'm waiting for football season again.
I'm so curious about the brother too, Angela. Need to know what he's really up to and how he figured into all this. Yeah.
Yes.
I'm very curious about that too, because I don't remember. Just watching. It was a long day working, but I'm enjoying the discussion. Can't wait to continue. I'm glad you're here, Noreen. Hope they get Darren. Hope they learn more about the prophecy. Yeah, about the supernatural elements. Yeah. Like all of these different creatures and the Nightbringer and all of that. Like get a bigger idea of what like actually going on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I hope to see before it all ends, the Commandant get a punch in the face.
Several.
or more, but
Yeah.
Spiro. Yeah, Spiro was great.
Yeah.
I loved the independence of the brother and not just following them. Yeah.
Yep.
He's awesome. Crazy violence, but this makes the cut just barely.
Just enough.
Enjoyed. Oh, Emily popped in. Reading this, knowing the ending of the series and seeing things through that lens and how she put it all together. Yeah, that would be cool. Because Emily has read through all of them. So she's rereading the whole thing. She's read the first book, like 4 times, Emily? Reading these books is a read along, is a great fun. Thanks for hosting and for the discussion. Sweet. Yeah. Okay, so I just want to take a look at the calendar.
Okay.
So we can all put it on our calendar now.
Okay.
Can we do Wednesday the 30th for our for our discussion of Torch Against the Night? Is that possibly work for you?
I can.
Because on the 31st, Becca, Books and Bujo, and Chloe are having a live to wrap up their deck of TBR. So I don't want to, because I know there's a lot of overlap in people who are participating. So,
I can do the 30th. That's fine.
Can we do the 30th? Okay, so everyone, 30th, Wednesday night. And I feel like it's good for us to switch up the night too, because people who maybe can't come on a Sunday might be able to come on a Wednesday. Like we can, play around with it. But
absolutely.
So Torch Against the Night discussion will be on Wednesday night, July 30th. 8:30 time. Does that work? 7:30, 6:30, 5:30. It's a little, I think that's good.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I would love to hear your ratings. 3 or 4 times that she's read. I hope the rest live up to the hype. This was a 5 for me. Great discussion. If anyone is curious, there are 3 narrators for the second book. There's a second female because we're going to get more of Helene.
Okay.
In book 2.
Good.
5-star. Appreciate that. Not overlapping. Well, I love Chloe and Becca, and I don't want to make people have to decide when that's not necessary. So we'll just do it the night before the end of the month.
Yeah, it's not a big deal.
Yeah, thank you guys, everybody, for coming and reading along and stepping out of your comfort zone for those of you who did. And I think I'm giving it a 5. I'm keeping it a 5. I think I gave it a 5 originally, and I'm just keeping it. I'm not changing.
I gave mine a 5, and I gave it a 5 again.
I love it.
Love that.
So it will be very cool to chat with you guys in a month, and we will have sprints again at some point. We haven't talked about that, but just stay tuned. At some point,
be like, are you free? Yeah, are you free?
at
We'll
some
figure it out.
point in the middle of the month, we will sit down and do probably not the beginning of the month. It'll probably be mid-month because I'm
Yeah.
not going to start it till later in the month. So I want it to be more fresh in my mind.
Yeah, I won't start it till after I get back from my trip.
I love this. One of my favorites of the year so far. Whoa, major, major. I love it. Yeah, you guys help make it fun by participating and adding your thoughts as well, so that Sarah and I don't feel like we have to just talk at you. We're all talking together.
Finding the details for us because we were.
Yes, thank you.
Appreciate that.
We're clearly not detail people. I know. You guys came in clutch with some names and stuff, so thank you. Yeah, it's a good time, and we really appreciate you, and hopefully you have a great month of reading in July, no matter what you read. Hopefully you'll continue to join us in this read along, and hopefully we'll pick up some more people if they see this and want to join in. It's that anybody's welcome to join in. So perfect. That's going to be it. Happy reading, everybody. We will see